I grew up an only child. It was just me and my mom at home. When I was a kid, probably like I was 4 years old, my grandma put me in dance, and grandma put me in because she said I just needed somewhere to put my energy. And she was so right about that. And then I just really grew to love it. She enrolled me into like a Christian school. She really just set the foundation, like, this is what we believe, this is who we pray to. And of course, when I was a kid, like, I didn't understand the depth of it all, but had a really big impact on my life. I definitely had like confidence issues, and I definitely think it was just me realizing like my dad wasn't in my life, and kind of ruined my self-esteem and like the confidence that I had in myself, because I didn't feel like loved or like chosen. My parents, they took me to church every Sunday, so truly I didn't have a relationship with God on my own. It was more of like, this is what my family wants me to do. Throughout college years, like, I didn't go to church at all. Like, I just felt like I wasn't really believing in anything, and those times were very hard for me. I got into astrology, tarot cards, and crystals, and just a bunch of new age practices, and I still felt like an absence in my heart, and I still felt like I just never had enough. In 2021, I was at a church in Chicago with my friend and her mom, and I was sitting in the pew, and the pastor was giving his message, and he was doing an altar call, and I just felt like my body get up. I started hearing just God say, like, I was with you, and I was with you while you were in your room practicing and worshiping and talking to other gods, and I was there with you when this was happening. I was there with you when you didn't have a father. I was there with you when you thought you were alone. I felt him like speak to my heart, and I got saved. I felt so relieved. There was just freedom, or just more to the story, other than like I always would just feel like something's missing. Being able to hear from God, like, that was kind of insane. When I started going to Fount, literally my first day there was a woman who came up to me, and she was like, "Can I pray for you?" And I was just like, oh snap. She didn't know it was my first time at church or anything. I just felt like that really put an impact on me. Like, these people are like real, and they care, and just thought that was like something that I wanted to be connected to. And so I started serving. When I started with the kids team, that's where I met LaShawn and Sadrina and Steph. They never like had to teach me anything, but just by the way they lived, like, I just learned so much. And I feel like God has just allowed them to like have such a strong identity in him that they don't have to like try to be anyone else. And being plugged into the team showed me like my flaws and just like my strengths. As I came back to God, I got more joyful, and I felt like the team reflected that as well. Just being around like the kids always like brought me just like a sense of like happiness and invigoration. I kind of started off with it as like a kid, and then as I got older, like, things got hard, and I kind of lost sight of who I was. And now I feel like my community, they tell me to slow down, and they pray for me, they pray with me, and everything in my dance life changed. Like, I just found joy and movement again, and I was like, wow, like, that's God, like, in my heart, like, coming out through my movement, showing me I'm not dancing for the approval of man. I'm not trying to get the approval of man ever. I definitely found a freedom in dance now, that I can look and I can dance for him instead, and like not hold back, and just kind of be free. I started seeking God more, and every time I felt scared, like alone, or I just feel like I'm not seen, or I just feel overlooked, I'm like, God, where are you in this moment? And he's just always so faithful to like tell me exactly where he is. And like, I just feel like that changed my entire perspective on my life, like, to know that I'm loved and I don't have to move as a broken person. I knew how it felt to like not have that, and like not feel chosen, not feel seen. And so I definitely think God has called me to see people, and God has called me to like speak with people, and like grow in community with people, and just like see and love people for who they are, because God is in my heart, and like God has redeemed a lot of those like dark areas of my life for me.